Okay, I am going to attempt to learn my first, I'm going to self-teach myself. Anyways, I'm going to teach myself Vieuxtemps, Yankee Doodle, or Souvenir D'Amerique. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's basically Yankee Doodle. And it's a showpiece, and I've never played a showpiece before. So that means it's very virtuosic and hard. So I'm going to post in here every day. Well, not every day, but maybe every week or something. My progress on it. But tonight I'm just going to sight read through the whole thing. And then I'll break it up over the next however long it takes me to learn it. Which is probably going to take a long time because there's a lot going on. But I'm going to painfully sight read through it tonight. And see just how much work it's going to need. I already know my weaknesses. My weaknesses are rhythm. Rhythm is probably the biggest one. Technical stuff like high notes and shifting and stuff like that, it doesn't give me too much of a problem. I mean, there's always room for improvement, but they're not something that I go, oh my gosh, I'm so worried about it. It's usually rhythm that I'm like, oh gosh, I have to count and all that jazz. So I'm not going to worry about that too much during the sight reading. I'm just going to hear how the song goes in my head. Da, 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 and try to keep some semblance of a tempo from that. And then I'll start forcing myself to work with the metronome. But right now I'm just going to sight read through it. The things that I do when I sight read are I do a lot of looking at it, so I'm gonna make note of the keys, and it starts out in, I'm guessing this is a A minor, so it'll be like a C natural, key, all naturals, but with tons of accidentals. So it's like I don't know what it is, but it starts out something interesting for the key signature, and then it goes into A major, so I make note of that. And then I also do a lot of finger blocking in my head, so I'll look at something beforehand and then I'll say, okay, so my fingers need to be basically in this vicinity, and it's going to be these types of patterns. So, it's going to be 1, 2, high 3, and 4, and blah, 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 that sort of thing. And then once I kind of get that in my head, it's easier for me to sight read because I already know the patterns, the finger patterns that I'm going to be using. And music, at least in classical, doesn't tend to veer off too much from those finger patterns. Once you learn finger patterns, at least I've noticed, and it could be different for you, but once you learn those finger patterns, you pretty much can really start to grasp sight reading better because you kind of can predict where your fingers are going to go next on the fingerboard. They might not get there quickly or rhythmically, but they get there note-wise and maybe intonation-wise and things like that if you learn finger patterns. So I'm going to try to apply a little bit of what I'm saying today. I'm thinking like I'm a teacher teaching myself, so I'm saying this stuff to benefit myself. Don't take it to heart or for yourself because I'm not a certified or university grad teacher. So, but if you do get some inspiration from this, and it helps you in some way, let me know. I would love to know if my random, talking is helping. But anyways, okay, I'm just gonna try to read through it, and I'm reading off of my computer, so I have to keep scrolling down. So it's not gonna be like a straight through read through. I'm gonna have to pause, but I'll introduce each variation. So the first one is the introduction, and the idea of this is that if you didn't put it in your program, or if people don't know you're playing it, they don't know what the piece is from this beginning because it's really just a showy introduction to something upcoming. So people don't know you're going into Yankee Doodle. So when you go into Yankee Doodle, finally, it's supposed to be kind of like the audience goes, oh, all that was just Yankee Doodle, sort of deal. Usually when I see violinists perform this, they'll go into it and then the audience laughs or something. So it's supposed to be really showy in the beginning, and then all of a sudden you go into Yankee Doodle and people are like, oh, that's what that was? What? Okay, so let's see, without further ado. Okay, so the beginning starts with some crazy double stops, which I'm gonna play really slow, but they're supposed to go super fast, like da 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 da, ba dee da da da. So. So it's basically a 1-3-2 pattern all together. 1 on the D string, 3 on the A string, and 2 on the E string. All those double stops are that, so it's not really that hard. It just looks hard on paper, and it's probably hard intonation wise. I will give it that, but fingering wise, it's not crazy. No, this goes. Oh. So I have to work on a harmonic. There we go. So let's do it again. And so it goes. After you get out of that little thing. And that's where the audience goes, oh, what? That sounds familiar. And this is the first variation. So this is the simplest one out of this whole piece. Is going to be this. I have to get this trill. And then second variation. Well, it's not the second variation, it's the second phrase. So it's still simple, but a little bit harder. And this is the next one. Oh, that's hard. Let me go down. So this is the next one. Oh my gosh. It gets crazy after this. Okay, next one. I'm not doing repeats at this point, but there are repeats. Okay, so now we have just a melodic um, uh, phrase here. And then it starts doing some crazy stuff here. So these are all string crossings with the, okay, 3 and then 1 detaché. So let's see. These are all finger blocking, finger patterns. So I have to really be... should I go up? That one's hard. This is a 4, 2, 1, 1. So 4. That one's hard. Ooh, that one's hard. Now you have up bow staccato really fast, which I am not good at up bow staccato, so wish me luck. But it's just a scale, so let's try it. Wow, help me. Okay. Oh. Okay, now all harmonics. Oh, sorry. Then here we go. So this is harder. Oh, sorry. Nope. Okay, now onto the chordal double stops. Yeah. Nope, that's not right. gets good. No, no. I don't know if I can play this part. It's crazy. Not right now, anyways. I need to read over. I don't know if I can sight read this. It's a progression, but I'm having a hard time thinking of the patterns. Okay. Yeah, that part's hard. Okay, let's skip to the same part. Okay, so back to... yeah. Why does it go all the way? Oh, yeah, I know. You can extend it, the fourth.